I'm your PAC D on Volatile Visions podcast. Yeah.
Here we go. OG. What a fucking legend here.
Sorry.
Hip hop, graffiti, mountain bike, Lego, creativity, all sorts. PAC D, welcome to my little podcast here.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me, man. I'm stoked I'm here.
Oh, it's so good to fucking have you here. Now, straight into it. First question I ask everyone. Actually, keep that mic, keep it in. Yeah, bring it even closer. Keep it in real tight. Keep it comfy. Yeah, brilliant. If you could be an animal, what animal do you reckon you would be and why?
Oh, I'd definitely be a cat.
Oh.
I've always been a cat man. I've had cats. My rescue cat, Dre, passed away last December. So it's been almost a year. It's probably been the longest I've not had an animal as a pet. I miss him every day still, man. I had him for 12 years.
When you're attached to your animals, yeah, it's a big part of your life.
It's massive. So I remember when I went down there to look for a kitten, yeah, and I was with my daughter and went in this room and there was a lot of kittens there, probably 40 of them. I wasn't bonding with any of them. They were all freaking out. And I kept going back to this other room and Dre, he was like a kitty cat, probably 1-ish years old. And then I was patting him through the cage and he was all friendly, marble tabby. And then I asked, what's his story? And she said the forklift driver at Hampton Park, Coles, DC, found him on the loading dock. Now, I'd been there with the truck driver, Paddy, and I met the forky. It's probably the different forky, but I felt that connection. And I said, yeah, he's cool. I want to take him. And she was like, what, you want him? I go, yeah, look, he likes me. He chose me, you know, that's what they say with cats. And, yeah, so I'd definitely be a cat, man. I think they've got the best lives. They just get patted, you know, pretty much do whatever they do, you know. You know, people say a dog, it has its master. Well, you're the master. The cat has its master, but it's the other way around, you know what I mean? That you're the slave to the cat. It's not like a dog. Cats do whatever they want to do, you know?
They do. They're the boss.
Yeah,
yeah. They're the boss of their own destiny too.
Yeah. So, yeah, I reckon I want to be a cat.
I can see obviously a big attachment there to your animal, and
for
sure, know, it's horrible when you don't have them in your life.
Oh, look, I love all animals, man. I love seeing your dog when I got here. Never seen that dog before. But I don't know, a lot of people call me like the animal whisperer. It's pretty funny. In August, I was with Peanut, and he took me to ride at Coffs Harbour, that Wedding Bells State Forest track. And then we've come into, what's that town, Toowoomba or something nearby for the food. And this dog seen me before we even parked up, right? Was it like one of those hunting dogs with the brown spots on it? I'm not sure what type of dog, but I seen it there and it was looking at me and it was going like that before we parked. I got out and this dog was ready to come to me and the owner was there. And I always ask the owner, can I pet your dog, right? And then I said, oh, can I pet your dog? I'm like the animal whisperer. And Nutty goes, your dog saw him before we even parked. And she's going, oh. And the dog's come up to me, dropped down, was getting all pats and everything. It's always been that way. Like, you know, you go to the downhill races and after your race you want to go spectate, you know. So there was one time, I think it was Grant, and I was walking up the track and this guy's walking this dog down. It looked like Muttley, yeah? And it was going, it was vicious. And I bent down to pat it. And he goes, no, dude, man, he's going to bite, you know. I go, nah, dogs don't bite me. And then it come up and it was like, moo. Like I knew I wasn't scared, and then it just relaxed. So I started patting it, and this guy's, oh, right. He says, I know it's with a lot of animals. Even years ago, I was at my Una farm in Victoria, and then I was just looking around, and there was a razorback, yeah? And it was still small. The guy said it was 85 kilo. It was still a baby, this thing. It was over there, and I just went, hey, come out. And it saw me, and it come up. And I was rubbing, and I was patting it, and I was punching it on the back. Like,
a bit of aggressive
solid,
play, yeah.
Just so it would feel like patting it, you know. This thing was like a rock. And it felt like patting a factory broom as well, you know, the bristles. But I liked it. It was like, and I was getting into it. I didn't know the whole time this farmer was watching me. And then I turned around, he's looking at me and goes, mate, he usually doesn't like males. I said, oh, really? Look, he likes me. And he goes, I'm actually babysitting him for this woman. That's her pet. But, yeah, he doesn't like males. No, he likes me, patting him.
You got the goods in you. You got the goods in you, Pat.
Yeah.
Hey, I've left this light on. I'm going to turn it off real quick. I'm going to turn that one on.
It's feeling like it's starting to get warm in here again.
Yeah, it's bloody hot outside. Turn that back on again.
Oh, yeah.
Do what we want. We're the boss. All right. Sorry for that brief interruption. Hopefully that lighting looks way better and Pat looks even more handsome than he did before when we started.
Thank you, sir.
Now, this conversation has no real plans. I normally start with, you know, when you're young to growing up, but you've also brought a bit of music in. Did you want to maybe throw... I've got a bit of battery life left on here.
Yeah, let's do it. It's just a beat that we loop it off Aquatine Hunger Force. So I don't know, it might be Schoolie D DJ. I'm not sure. It's just a kick-ass beat. We've just looped it.
Let me see. I don't know if this is going to work, but let me see if we can make this work. This is an old computer. This is like a CD.
You know, Zolly, man, I've got to say, your symbol, and I think we spoke about it already, this is the oldest mountain bike icon symbol in Australia. This and A&B magazine.
Maybe it is. I didn't think of it like that.
Definitely is, man.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, all right.
So I'm looking at 94, mate, it'll be 31 years next year. We're going to have to celebrate
94, I registered it and had that symbol. I think we were back at the same time. Yeah, 94. So, yeah.
You have to do a 31-year party next year.
Yeah, well, hopefully we start having more of these conversations and we bring it back, you know.
Yeah, I was saying to Izzy, it's just been a bit slack. I'm so going to make an effort to come over to Adelaide more with Pabs Dicey from Death Wish Cast. Years ago, we started this thing called Pond Tour, and we're getting a lot of free truck rides interstate and all that, and we're going back and forth. And just as a joke, I said to Pabs, you know something, I reckon we've clocked up the most Ks for hip-hop friendship. Let's just call that, right? He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, Sydney to Melbourne, that's 2,000 Ks, right? There and back's 2,000.
Yeah.
What's the circumference of the world is 36 or something like that. So we've gone around the world enough times already. And, we just started that up again, you know, Pond Tour thing and cheap air flights. Air flights are pretty cheap these days. You book early enough.
Because you're back in Adelaide because you're catching up with the boys, yeah? Your reasons for travelling. You're Melbourne. You're from Melbourne. We'll get into some of the conversations. We're jumping and cutting.
Pabs Dicey from Death Wish Cast, we met at the Voices of the Underground gig in 93. So it was the 31-year anniversary for us to come. And we're talking about the start of the year, but time just goes so fast, you know. Time flies as swift as an arrow. I like saying that one. That's from the movie The Seven Samurai. And it does, man. And before we knew it, was the end of the year was coming up. Pab's like, man, we got to get there. We got, you know. I said, let's start looking at air flights and that. And cheap flights come up. I think mine was $250 return. It's like, sweet, and booked it.
So here you got to catch up with a few old mates.
Yeah,
and share
we
some
saw
good times.
Delta today. That was awesome, man.
Yeah, killer.
Yeah.
All right, let me see if
it'll be track 2 is the instrumental.
Track 2. I don't know. This is really putting us on this. If this works, I'll be very surprised.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm pretty.
Oh, here it goes. Oh, yeah. Can we turn up the beat in the head in this bit?
Can I?
Or is it just coming through there?
It's not coming through here.
Oh, that's track one.
Now, this is awkward, but where's the microphone coming out there? Let's try this.
Oh, all right.
Well, should we try this pack? And
Yeah,
you're
you'll
good
see.
to go. Right, that's still the other one. Wrong track. Put me under pressure here.
It's probably it. If it's gone to the next track.
So,
It's do or die, fly, ripping up the ride, pon mountain sides, the downhill tribe. I was hard as fuck, then I dropped my PSI, shin guards for luck, as I scream yes I, peanut on the clock, Watt and Jono bunny hop, big ass logs, just an age off the drop. No time for cry, just time to ride and kiss the sky, the downhill tribe, making tracks through the bush like razorbacks, maze of tracks, going down like pinch flats. Which one to take, the room for mistakes, pon single track, you broke the camel back. Tell me I don't look stealth, when I'm flying down hills, making rocks melt. Humanoid bushwalkers beware, the tribe is here, stand clear. Over there, oversteer, through rocks and trees, knocking my knees, a clock and some bee's nest. Making me fast, enough stress, putting my rig to the test. Downhill tribe in the flesh, when I hear nature calling, trees have fallen from the storm and I'm still pouring, I'm through balling. Rocking like a rock ring, disc brake check, I'm decked out like Boba Fett. Get ready, set, go hard or go home. Peace out to tone, cross up like Escapone in the zone. Downhill tribe in effect. Hope my disc brake works. When I go to work, I got berserk. I'm hitting warp speeds like Kirk. I eat dirt. Tell me that shit didn't hurt. Like Rambo, I'm trained to ignore pain. It's time to ride and represent the tribe. Oh yeah, that was Downhill Tribe Raps. 99 wrote those. So yeah, it's still good.
Word PAC D in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
house. I haven't done that before, and it kind of worked. So
It worked enough for me to hear it, yeah.
thank you, man. Thank you. Fucking hell, look at that.
That's so good.
Teaching old dog new tricks, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, old dog new tricks. Where did it all start for you, PAC? Tell us, step back to your earliest memories when you're starting school, mum, dad, family. Where did you grow up? Take us right back to the start.
Okay, my mum's Chinese Malay, so I was born in Malaysia. My dad, he's Aussie. He was in the Air Force Base there, RAF, in Butterworth. We came back when I was 3, and we used to live in Sydney. Most of my dad's family's in Sydney, yeah. We moved to Melbourne when I was about 12. My dad had a job opportunity, a promotion. He worked for Roche Diagnostics back then as an electronics engineer. And he was fixing blood analyzer machines at hospitals and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what he did. The Air Force, he was electronics equipment that got him the equipment, you know, that got him instruments and that got him into the electronic side of things. For a long time, my dad was trying to get me into computers, right? And he said he already knew about the World Wide Web years before it happened. And he was telling me, and I had zero interest in computers, IT, whatever you want to call it. Computer games, yeah? So I was just playing games, but my mum is an artist, so I kind of think I inherited that art side off her. And went to art school, started going to like Dandy TAFE. It was like a year 11 equivalent. And I did 2 years there. And then I was trying to get into like a graphic design course at RMIT, but there was just a lot of applicants, 2,000 applicants for 60 spots. That 20 are for mature age students already, so it's really 40 spots.
Do you know roughly what year you're talking? What?
That was probably 87, 88. I got back into RMIT and did like a Bachelor of Arts thing.
You completed high school to get into uni?
No, year 10, and then the TAFE was like a year 11 and 12 equivalent. So it's not called VC, it's called TOP then, Tertiary Orientation Program. Yeah, certificate and whatnot. And I think after I didn't get in to another course, I was a bit, bummed out. You could say I lost interest. It was kind of hard because art was always like a hobby thing. And then when you go to art school, it becomes a job pretty much. Even though it's not working, you know what I'm saying? It's full on, you're doing it. And it can get draining, you know what I mean? You're drawing for 10 hours.
Did you have a design or a style? Did you have a direction? Even, arts is pretty broad.
Art school was, you had to draw within guidelines. Like one that I can think might have been a grid design, where you had to draw grids, very 80-ish, at the time. That was 85, right? So I remember my grid design, I actually gridded it into a skateboard transition. I'm pretty sure I had Hosoi dropping in. And there's a couple of cars and other things that I was into as well in that thing. I didn't really do that well at art school because I think teachers didn't like kind of what I was doing.
What media are you involved in? What?
That was like, drawing, painting. Say we're doing figure drawing, right? And you got the nude models posing there. Maybe 1 out of 10 of those drawings, I've turned her into a reptilian. And the teachers walk around, they see that, and they're not really impressed. They're like, just draw what you see, That's what I see. But and I don't know, I think the painting teacher knew I was into graffiti, and he didn't like it. So I actually failed painting. I got a big fat 0 for painting at art school.
There you go.
I've got paintings I could show you that you go, what? He failed that. Yeah.
Didn't fit the brief.
Nah. Yeah.
Didn't fit the
Pretty
brief.
much. Clash of personality clash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's your heart, art?
Yeah. And then I suppose, when hip hop started, the first thing people were exposed to was the breaking side of it. The breakdance, movies like Beat Street. Flashdance was actually, I'm pretty sure, the first movie that had breaking in it. And everyone just got into the breaking. And after a while, I was into the music as well. And, you listen to all these tracks, Jam on It, and all these tracks. And I started, first of all, you start mimicking those tracks, singing along, basically, rapping along. And then I got to a point where I started to want to write my own raps. And it started off with, I think I was in Synchronized Break Crew then. And I was writing raps about our crew. And if, just say, you had Mad Turtle, I'll put Zolly rocking the turtle, And then whoever's busting the next move. And when I busted it to my mates, this crew, everyone's, what? They were blown away because they had a Guernsey and...
Original.
Yeah. And they're like, man, that's sick, And and I liked it. And I just kept wanting to do more and more.
How old are you at this stage?
I was about 15, 16. And so by the time I was 18, I was pretty much, all right, I like MCing. This is what I want to do now, And I still break in here and there and that, but, you know what I mean? It was kind of weird because I did set up a DJ thing in my house. I had this little Radiotron thing, some crappy turnies, and I was sort of starting to cut and do all that. But then, so I could have been DJ PAC D, but I don't know, I kind of liked rapping more and the whole MC side of things, so I sort of more concentrated on that. And found my forte as an MC. Around 88 it was, Ransom asked me into AKA Brothers, and we dropped the first 12-inch single, Coming Out Large.
AKA Brothers.
Yeah.
Hold, pause on that. Tell us a bit more.
It was basically what a lot of people don't know. If it wasn't for Ransom's dad, that probably would never have happened. He put the money up for it. And back then, we weren't cashed up. We were still kids and that, we were doing shows and slowly saving. But I think what were we charging for a show back then? It's probably $300, right? And mate, equipment's thousands. So how many shows do you have to do? You know what I mean? And when we, a couple of people even, Delta was saying today about the tape we put out. We put out a tape. It wasn't officially launched or released. It was just a hand-me-out tape.
It was cassette because
yeah,
that's how you could duplicate back then.
Yeah, and we did an album, and people asked me about it, and like, yeah, I get the history and that there, but to me, it was very rushed. We hired all the equipment from Alan's Music on a Friday and did the whole album locally on Friday night and Saturday night. It's like quick, you know, and get it done. If we had have.
And how many tracks did you put on that? Did you record that?
Oh, man, I don't know how many's on there. It's 12 or something. There's a couple of doodads as well that you're probably not tracks, but they're on there.
And where are you recording this? Where are you? Is this someone's?
This is at a guy's house, one of the DJ's house, in his record room, pretty much. So yeah, it was very rushed. You know, it's just to get it done. So it's hard to listen to now for me. I can hear how rushed it is.
Yeah. No need to go back and see that again. That's where it started, and then it moved on from there. Where did it keep moving to from there?
I started, look, AKA kind of got defunct, and I started doing some solo stuff, working with Jimmy and Lamb as well, Mama's Funk. We were still sort of doing shows. When we did that Adelaide one, I was with Mama's Funk as the Hooded Dread. That was the stage name I come up with for that show. I didn't really keep it after that, you know. Yeah, I actually changed my name by deed poll about 15 years ago. And I remember I was waiting for it to come because my license was almost going to expire. And I rang them up and said, hey, listen, and she was a hip-hop head or something. She goes, yeah, I got it in front of me. I'll do it now. You'll get it tomorrow. And I got it and I went to Vic Roads, changed my name officially, and then Mr. PAC Diesel. Oh, what? That's me. That was the first time I heard it official. But even like, it was kind of like when I raced downhill in the 90s, I registered as PAC Diesel back then.
I knew it was PAC D. That was mid-90s.
I was disassociated from my other name. And I'm not going to say it because I only hear it at home. It's Mum and Dad still.
Your family name when you're in trouble.
Yeah. But I remember one time when I was at work and someone was yelling it out to me. They were trying to call me. I was on the other side of the yard. I could hear him calling it, but I wasn't jeering that they were calling me. And I went, oh, yeah, that's my other name.
It was so long ago. And so why did you decide PAC Diesel? It's a pretty fucking awesome name.
Cheers, man. When I was 15, my dad named me Pac-Man then because I was eating more than him for dinner. Good metabolism, man. I should be the fattest dude, you know. I can smash a whole chicken. No worries. So that became like a street name, you know, just for breaking and that, Pac-Man. And then after a while, it was just Pac for short. And the diesel's from like Cock Diesel. Just took it for that. It was also sort of a truck thing. We were doing a lot of truck rides. Cat Diesel, PAC Diesel. PAC Diesel. So it just made sense to me instantly, you know. I got to do a Volatile thing on me someday.
There's a couple of people have got some Volatile ink on there.
Yeah, man, for sure.
So step us back to more of your early childhood. What was school like? Tell us, what was school life like? Primary school, junior school, what were you into?
Yeah, so I was still in Sydney then, right? When we moved to Melbourne, it was my first year high school. I went to Cromer High for a year, right? But before that, we moved around a lot. When I thought about it one time, I averaged a school a year. We were moving around that much. You know, like...
Because your dad was travelling a bit?
We're just moving into a better place sort of thing, you know. And... yeah, so as a school year, Hardboard Primary was probably the longest school I was there. I think I was there for 2 years, grade 5 and 6. I've got a younger sister that's 3 years younger than me, so when she came into school, she's getting bullied. And back then it's not multicultural like it is now. There was literally a handful of people that weren't white Australians at Harbord Primary. A handful. Me, a Greek guy, Italian guy, there was one guy from America. You know what I mean? Not many people. Might have been a Croatian guy. So that was our gang. We stuck together because it was just constant bullying back then. And there was no anti-bullying shit back then.
Yeah, you took it. Yeah.
Mate, yeah, so I went through, I guess, 3 phases. The first phase, I was pretty upset, man. I was devo and always crying and shit. Then overnight, I just developed this thick skin and started just punching on with everyone. That was the reaction. I think all the anger just built up in me, and it got to a point where I was just smashing dudes, and I was doing judo as well, right? And I remember one day, I had this dog, Simba, it was this Kelpie Cross, and she used to tow me on the skateboard down to these shops in Willow Heights, and what this kid say to me, and I thought it was the dumbest shit when he said it, Chinese checker eyes, that's right. Chinese checker eyes. And it was weird. I wasn't offended. I just thought it was stupid. But I saw it as an excuse to come at them. So I started, and they freaked out, right? Seen I could fight. And so they're trying to go. And I was going, come back. I want to say sorry. I just want to keep kicking their ass. And then after I thought, I don't know, I had some gusto, I think, from that. So any opportunity I got, all you had to do was look at me. It was on. And I remember soccer, inter-school sports. I don't know why. I think I was just real hyped up for soccer. And I used to ask Mum to drop me off halfway going home because I want to walk the rest. Because I wanted to start a fight with someone. Yeah, I was pretty pumped. It got messed up, And I still had my soccer boots on. And I remember these guys swinging, and it would start like this. I'd say something and then shut up. And the thing to say back then was make me. Yeah. And the other thing to say was back then was you hit me first. And that actually turned the cheek. Mate, I took that opportunity. Whack. And I remember one day, and it was kind of like that, and I got this reputation that I kind of didn't want, and this is what I mean, like one time it was my friend. He goes, I bought my cousin to fight you. He's the best fighter at his school. And I'm like, what? And I was worried, like, mate, I don't want to do this shit. I was, at times I was cocky, but most I didn't want to fight, it's more out of being bullied. And so these guys come down and at the back of the creek, and everyone gathered round, and I know he started flicking sticks away off the ground and that. Now, he was actually stalling, but I didn't know, right? And I go to him, what are you doing? And he goes, we might land on the stick. And I'm thinking, here we are about to punch on. And you're worried about landing on a stick, right? But again, he was stalling, but I didn't know, right? And then, he cleared all the sticks. And I was sweating. He was a bit bigger than me. I had a late growth spurt. Not that I'm tall now, but I was pretty short back when I was a kid. And he's gone, turn the cheek to hit me first. And I remember it was a bit tall. I remember just swinging up, going, Oosh. I clocked him, but it didn't really rock him. He's sort of going, oh. And I thought, oh, no. And then he's gone, oh, that's it, enough. So he didn't want to fight.
Oh, from there.
Yeah. And I was like, oh. But then I got a bigger reputation from that.
Oh, you stood up to the big guy.
Yeah. And then we beat up on these dudes at the park, and their dad, I don't know, he's followed us down, and the back of our house was the back of the park sort of thing, and the dad saw us there taking off our shoes to go in the house, and he's gone, no fighting, boys. I looked at my dad, and we thought it was funny. He must have come back and spoke to my dad, because then my dad spoke to me next day, hey, I don't want you fighting anymore, and, I was, all right, and I had a lot of respect / fear for my dad, so I really knocked it on the head. I didn't want to keep going with it,
But difficult in that environment, like you say. That was the generation I grew up in. There wasn't too many, there was Wogs, there was all the different names you would call the different races of people, and there wasn't that many of them. And they would. It was Zoltan, I got plenty of grief at going through primary school.
No doubt.
A name like that.
I remember the first time I asked you, is Ollie short for anything? And then you said, yeah, Zoltan. I went, wow, man, that's like a superhero name. Like, really? Wow. It's Zoltan.
Maybe I'll grow into one. So a bit more about your family. What was mum and dad like? Like, what's them? Are they still with us?
Yeah.
Christmas time, you guys?
Oh, for sure. I think last year was the first Christmas I actually didn't overindulge in food, because everyone does it. You end up bloated. I thought, I'm not doing that again, So, yeah, I was pretty reserved. And
you close to mum and dad still? You see them a bit?
Yeah, for sure. I go out there and see him once a week.
Yeah.
Give my dad a hand if he needs it, cutting the grass and that. He's starting to get a bit of hand issues and stuff.
All those old age.
Yeah,
related.
like I'm 55, he's 75. They're 20 years older than me. They had me when they were 20, So you don't actually realise it at the time, So when I was 10, he was only 30,
Still kids. My oldest is 22. It's like, put in perspective. Yeah. Yeah, so you've got to uni, you were doing arts, and so that was the graffiti influence. Is that where that was coming into? Like,
no, I was
because
drawing.
Was anyone graffitiing? Like, was there people doing spray can art?
Oh, for sure. There was already that. I was drawing from an early age. Grade 1, grade 2, I was already drawing. And I was probably drawing better than I could write, English. And I was just drawing things. I was just always into drawing.
And you still now?
Yeah, not so much. Not say drawing with grey leads. If I'm doing that, it's more a sketch for a mural. Like I started doing just nature murals, and I hit up, say, businesses with a roller door that's just got scribble tags all over it, And I've done a couple of days. One was a bottle shop. There's a lawnmower shop before that, and I said, can I paint a guy cutting the grass? The guy's, yeah. And I painted it, and it stayed untouched for 5 years. And the community really come on board. I remember when I was painting it, I was doing it at night time when the roller's down and no one's there. And, a couple of people asked me, what if someone tags it, And I said to them, look, that's my artwork up there too. I'll come fix it. I'm not going to charge you. I said, it really doesn't get touched. I'm not doing graffiti. I don't actually use the G word because there's just too much bad stigma attached to it and I don't do graffiti. I'm doing murals and it's doing nature scenes. It's different. I've got another dude that I'll get if they want letters and stuff like that. But I actually like doing waterfalls and shit like that now.
Was that part of your growing up? Like, were you painting walls and things like that?
Not really.
No.
You
like the art for the art's sake. It wasn't that taking it that far.
Yeah, I think when I was growing up, it was more sci-fi influenced. I was doing spaceships and cars, and it was more spaceships.
Because the hip hop and graffiti or street art, well, they probably went hand in hand. But you were taking the music route then. You started heading more that way.
Yeah, I come back and started doing artwork probably in the last 10 years full on, and it's sort of been shelved. I've always had little projects going and little dabbles here and there, but not massive jobs. I painted this factory in Knox, and these women were very smart how they got me to paint it. If they had have said, can you paint the whole factory, mate, I would have just ran away and not gone back, because just overwhelmed the size of it. But she kind of goes, I got this wall in my factory, you want to paint it? And they saw this bike mural that I'd done at, what was it then? It was 99 bikes. I think it was, Trek took it over, right? Can't don't even think what it's called now. It's just this bike shop at Spaghetti Junction. It's been there for decades. They had a wall, so I did this bike mural. There was riders going around. I had this bike jersey there. And then I found out Trek was going to buy it out and they were going to black out the mural and just put the Trek thing there, right? And I approached him and I said, hey, listen, I'm the artist that did that. That took me out like 100 hours. Please don't paint over it. It's still relevant. It's a bike shop. I'll change the jersey into a Trek. And they'll go, no. And then it just happened, black, their logo, right? For some reason, it actually came up on my Insta feed. And I seen it and I was pissed off and I wrote, hey, why can't some people respect art? I'm the artist you painted over. Mate, that, what did I say? So, I don't know, I'm the artist you painted over. How disrespectful, that's what I wrote. I didn't know other people were going to join in. Dudes come hard at him. And started ripping into him. And I was like, hey, wow. So much so they changed the thing so you could not comment on that page anymore. They just squashed it all. And people like...
Bad publicity, spoiling someone's art for a fucking logo.
And I thought, it's pretty lame. It was bike shop. The mural was bikes. People were actually pulling in when I was painting it, going, wow, But, it's corporate decision.
Time goes on. Balls get changed, don't they?
That they're not there anymore. I noticed that shop got sold and it's getting knocked down after decades of it being a bike shop. So I don't know what's going to happen there now.
Because bikes is... you do many things. We have a few conversations here, but bikes.
Oh, bikes.
Park it there with bikes. That's how we met. We met.
It is, man.
I think Mount Buller. I don't know, a long time ago, mid-90s.
It's Buller.
Yeah, I reckon up there. Mountain bikes is a big part of your life, yeah?
Mate, you actually filmed when I had my knee reco. The snaps, you filmed that.
I reckon I would. I don't have the... I would have the raw tape and hopefully one day I get to open them. But yes.
That was savage. On race day it was raining. And I've come in, sort of straightened up to go through that snow gum. And I've hit it, and I've come leaning on an angle, and all I've done was stuck my leg out. And my leg bent that way at 90 degrees. Adrenaline got me
and
back.
I saw you, and I was cheering, like, and you just got back on.
Adrenaline.
Yeah.
And then you saw me go down a bit further, put my leg down, mate, then the pain's just gone to 12 on the pain meter.
And then you said you wrecked yourself.
Mate, yeah. I didn't actually know the damage till I had MRIs come back. And I went and seen this proper dude, Ian McLean. He does all the footy plays and that. And I just wanted a knee specialist, yeah? And I got into him. And I remember when he was reading out the list, all I was thinking was, mate, when's this guy going to stop? I did a lot of damage, posterior, anterior, cruciate, patella damage, laterals.
Just get your knee and stop it there, and everything underneath it just got wrenched the wrong way, and everything just got trashed.
And you don't know, but all these ligaments pull everything together, right? So when they're all like not happening anymore, just the weight of the bottom half of your leg when you walk, it stretches. I stayed in Sydney. I went out for it was a Kilowatts show, and we've got live footage. I'm on stage with this crutch, and at the end of the night, my knee blew up and that, But I didn't really know, and was sleeping, and in the middle of the night, I just woke up screaming. And I think, when you turn over in your sleep, you roll. The leg didn't roll.
The body comes with you.
The body went, the leg stayed straight, I think. I just woke up screaming. Age goes, do you want me to do it? And I just said, pull my leg. And it eased off. But that was crazy. And then after I got the report, I was like, then I got a proper brace to wear. I didn't have a car, man. So I was on my Sintesi Bazooka with the leg brace, riding into town.
You didn't end up getting a op?
Huh?
Did you get an operation?
Man, I had to wait 7 months. During that time, I called it prehab. I bought a bike trainer to just ride my bike inside the house because I'd seen all these stories with dudes' legs withered way to nothing waiting for the op. Yeah? As fast as you can build muscle, you lose it twice as fast. For real. So I was keeping it active. It was funny. I probably was too active. There was St Kilda Fest. I clocked up about 20 Ks on crutches there that day, walking everywhere. My leg, my right leg, my good leg actually bulked up, and that one never really caught up. Yeah, it's like you can see the difference because I was crutching around. It didn't stop me from getting around.
Yeah.
I was, riding
And that's downhill mountain bike racing.
Oh,
That's in your blood too, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started doing hardtail for a long time, and man, you repped the hardtail, man. You were hard, mate, doing big ass jumps, and it was just fun, man. It was a real challenge, you know. Not everyone got it, but the dudes that knew, like, fuck, man, your times are up there with expert, you know, like.
We're just riding on a budget, you know. We can't afford the dual suspensions.
There was a bit of that too.
Yeah.
I remember I had those Mr. T's on, not the Monsters, the Misters, though, like 5-inch travel, dual crown fork. And after one race at Anarchy, I gave it to Moose to service. And, mate, he used to love ripping into us, you know. He was no reservations. He'd go, Backy, and he was going off at me for not putting the forks back together properly. He's going, you put this shit in upside down, the springs. Look. And he basically said, you did that race on 2 inches travel, you're an animal. But he was pissed off that the forks were like that. And I go, Moose, I bought them off. What's his face? I haven't touched these forks. He's going, what? That little shit. Because then he knew he had to go at having a look at the inside of the foot, but put it in all upside down. I said, mate, I didn't touch it. Yeah. But it was just good fun. I remember one race, and you'd agree, man, late 90s, racing sucked, man. It sucked. Everyone was like giving everyone else hard looks, yeah? And there it was.
There's the elites and the pros.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there's a lot of us having good fun, you know.
There was.
Trying to think.
But I don't know, there was a lot of just animosity and just dudes trying to psych each other out and stare each other down. It's not like how it is now.
I never got to that level, so.
Oh, right.
I was filming. So
doing that to us. And I was like,
yeah.
And I remember, where did I go? It was, what's that lake there? That Lake Eildon? There was a national race there, and there was way too many riders, man. The transport was bad. I think I did one practice run. That's all we could get in. There was literally way too many people. But when I got there, I had that hardtail to bomb the accelerate that I had at your joint that time after I bought that. And I had that then. I had the Mr. T's on that. So it looked a bit unproportioned, big front end. But hey, downhill, sweet, right? And I got out of the car and I was with my dad. And I don't know who he was. I didn't recognise him. He must have been from New South Wales or something. He goes, oh, I don't know, you pansies and your hardtails. Mate, my blood was boiling. If my dad wasn't there, I would have walked up and just...
Pansy on a hardtail. I don't think so.
That doesn't even make sense, does it?
No.
Oh, mate. And then I remember saying to him, yeah, well, mate, my times are up there. And he goes, oh, we'll see. Mate, I was looking for this guy on the track. I was hunting him, yeah? I just wanted to run him over. And I thought I had him, right? And I was all over him, like, buzzing his back tyre and shit. And then it was someone else that go, oh, sorry, Pac, and they've pulled out of the way. Oh!
You thought it was a different guy.
It's just, a mistaken identity. But I never seen him on the track.
You got a helmet on, they all look the same.
Yeah. But yeah, I just really got into the hardtail side of things. I remember I come into it, I think it was around 2011, 12 season. I've come back into it. I come in halfway. And so I didn't do all the races, and I still ended up with third. And it was a mad trophy. It's like this Kona number plate thing. Hayes TT and hardtail third, you know. And I was sweet. And then I remember Benny going to me, mate, turn that 3 into a 1. And I was just focused. I remember going to Moose's and I was getting boxes for about 800. They were like last year's stock or something. Nice still. What is it?
There. I don't know.
It's my phone. Do you want me to turn it off?
I don't know. Sounds cool.
Oh, okay. Special effects. That's not my phone.
That's your aura.
Special effects. Yeah. And then, so, I was just trying to really build up these bikes again. I found some, I love my De Bomb stuff. I've got about 10 De Bombs now.
You do.
And then as I was building that, put these big forks on it. The first frame was a bit short, man. Then I got something a bit longer because, high speed, they're not real stable. De Bomb gave me that, the Revolution, the slope style thing. I still haven't set it up properly. Should have 100mm forks on it. The only forks I had tapered were 150. I put them on to make it a bit more gravity friendly. But it's thrown out the geometry and whatnot. I took it to Bor. And there's a step down near the start that, I don't know, I've already pinch flatted somewhere and it was going down and I didn't know. And I've come off the step down and then whack! And put this nice dent in the rim. But I noticed that bike, such a short wheelbase. So when you get untidy, mate, it really gets untidy. And you know what I mean? Long wheelbase bikes, that they'll correct themselves, And they'll just, they'll settle down. But yeah, it was just good. I really... was concentrating, and by the end of it, like I ended up next year I was first place for the overall. The year later I was done it again, but by then, mate, I was almost like the last of my kind.
Because did they have a hardtail category then, or you're racing hardtail against?
No,
Julies?
There was a category.
Yeah,
and then the last year I think they stopped. It was 2016, 17, I think, and that's when they said it's no longer a category. I was pretty much the last one doing it, man. And occasionally there'd be, one or two. There was one time when it was so funny. I've gone up to Bor and I had this a Bullet with 8 inches front and rear, a black. It was Moose's one, matte black. It was last of the Bullets. It was awesome. And then I saw. All right, there's a couple of hardtails, and I had this other hardtail there as a pit bike. And then I go, how many hardtail rides? And they go, there's 2. And I go, okay, how much you can charge me? I'll enter to make up the class, right? And they only charge me,
run it,
$40. Now they've stopped dudes entering 2 classes. They just don't want to do it anymore. It's too much dicking around. And now, even though I had the downhill bike there, man, I was having so much fun on this hardtail, yeah? So all my practice runs were on the hardtail. And I just didn't know when to stop, man. My arms were nuked. Come race run, I couldn't really hold on. I stacked both the downhill bike, I don't know, about 3 or 4 times down the course. The hardtail was about 5 stacks going down because I just couldn't hang on. I remember right at the end, there's this tiny little berm. You could hardly call it a berm, but you still got to use it. And I couldn't even put the brake on anymore, so I was off the brake, just death gripping, trying to do the end. I've rolled over the top of this thing and just washed out, stacked 5 meters to the finish line. The other guys go, just run through the line,
Get your time.
I ran through, got 5th. There was 5 in hardtail.
Blew it out. Yeah, no, it's good fun. Yeah, hardtails are good fun.
So is, but you got to know you just can't keep doing practice runs, man. You get so fatigued.
Yeah, on a race day, 2 runs. Your third run,
I'll probably only do one.
Run.
Yeah. I've even got it down to 1. I'm happy. I've done a few on Saturday.
Familiar with the track. It might change on the Sunday race day, rain, weather, whatever. There's a heap more ruts then.
It was funny. Last time at Narbathong, which that was actually the first place that Jezza and I raced there. Armed Jezza, you want to go down and race him? That was our first race there. We'd already gone up there a few times. It's probably the longest course we got. It's like a 6 to 7 minute run. And went in that, and it was funny. Last time I was there, I was on a hardtail, and mate, I was just getting fatigued. I had all, what's that?
Cramping up.
Oh, big time, man. And, and I was just having trouble, struggling. Lactic acid build up. It wasn't good. And right at the end, again, I could not. I needed everything to hang on. And there's this little berm to the right, little berm to the left, and it goes across this wooden bridge. I've tried to just kind of cut across. Mate, I've almost gone off this wooden bridge. Shit myself, yeah. I was telling my mate, and this 15-year-old kid goes to me, nah, you got to use both berms. I'm like, oh, yeah. And he was right. You got to use both. It kicks you that way. That one kicks you that straight. You got to use them. You can't cut across. It was just funny, like a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I was actually riding that course before he was born, and he's telling me how to ride it. But I took his advice, and he was all right.
There you go. Give him credit. That's true. Yeah.
Mate, they're fast. They're fast now. The under 17 dudes. Hella quick.
It's crazy to think, 30 years, what you were doing. Well, the kids now, what we used to ride, where it all started.
Yeah.
What you're riding on. Yeah.
I'm still on 26s, man. 26er for life. I don't want to go.
Bigger wheels. I think there's something to it rolling over the.
It does, man. Yeah, I've seen a guy at Listy just roll past me, and I go, "Well, 27." No, he was on 29.
Getting hooked up on all those little rocks and everything. Yeah.
Don't do sharp turns real well. I've noticed when I'm watching those guys. So.
Yeah. So bikes. So you've done bikes, and we've done a bit of art. Let's go back to a bit of music.
Oh yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about how music, how you fell into it. How did it impact your life? How did it all start for you to actually go, I'm going to record some music and be in a band?
I think when Ransom asked me into AKA Brothers, that's when it got serious, I guess,
And he selected you because you were... Yeah.
I was in the scene, he knew me, whatever.
Yeah.
And invited me into the crew. And it got serious. We did shows. We went to New York.
And you're still in your teens? You're still teenagers or your early 20s?
I was 1990, so it would have been 19 pushing 20. Yeah,
prime of your life.
Yeah, that was a crazy experience over there.
How did you get over there? What was that adventure about?
I don't know how it happened. There was a guy, Funkenklein, rest in peace, Gangster Limp. Now, his label was Hollywood Basic, and you're talking, he had artists like Booyah Tribe under that label. And at the time, he liked us, and he actually got us there to do that gig. He organised all that. And the other thing that he had in his pipe works was, I'm signing up this group. I'm trying to sign this group. If I sign them, I'm going to fly you to LA and you do a track or two on that album. So, cool. Cypress Hill.
That was the band I was talking about.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
And he told us the name, but it wasn't anything there, man. So it's just a name, right? Cypress Hill. All right. When their album dropped, that went platinum.
Holy shit.
That's when it dawned on me. Oh, shit.
And they bought you out alongside them?
No. They got signed to a different label.
Okay.
So it never happened. But when that album dropped, I mean, it was half ganja raps and that. And I was like, man, I would have fit right in with these guys. And just pure, so if it had happened, AKA Brothers would have been the household name back then.
Aussie hip-hop.
Yeah.
And who else was there? Were you guys the first Aussie hip-hop to be live performing over there?
Pretty sure, yeah. I'm pretty sure there hadn't been an act before. And people were asking, how'd they take you, stuff like that. And we actually got a good response. And there was one record label that was pretty keen on doing something. But at the same time, they didn't know how to market us. That was the main thing. They liked what we were doing and everything. And got a couple good write-ups in some magazines there. And so they took us seriously. We went, the guys from Aussie, it was proper what we were doing. So, yeah, it was good like that.
And what is it? Is it competitions? Is it like, how are you performing? Like, what's your stage that you're performing on?
For that show there, that was at a place called Irving Plaza, and it was kind of like an old school hall, like a school assembly hall kind of vibe. And they just packed it. There's like literally 1,000 people in that
That's a
place.
Friday night, Saturday night, or
I can't remember, man. It's probably a Friday, Saturday.
you've flown in from Australia.
Yeah.
Like rock stars. You'd be feeling like a bit rock stars. You're going to perform in America, performing your music.
It was a bit daunting. We went to this sound check and everyone was just doing their whole show, so we didn't actually get to sound check. And then on the night, Tarry B got bottled off stage, right? One of the acts.
Tough crowd.
Yes, mate. It was hostile. And bottles, and it was mainly chicks throwing bottles at her. They just didn't like her, right? We hadn't come on stage yet, and we saw that. It's like, what? Fuck, man. But no, they were cool. Ice-T was the MC of the night. And I remember when he came back to do a show at Metro Melbourne, I said to him, hey, thanks, man. I never got a chance to thank you on that night. You gave us a real mad intro and all that. And he did, the boys from Australia, make them feel welcome. And I see in the end, like, people were getting into it. And I just wanted, I think we only did 2 tracks, and I just wanted to say something, And I just go, remember I said, I bet you think Australia's like running around kangaroos and shit, yeah? And they were like, because they do, right? And then I go, look, it's not exactly like that, right? But they're not that cool. They destroy fences. They'll eat your ganja. They fuck shit up. If you ever come to Australia, do us a favour and shoot some of the crowds erupted. I was like, wow. So I didn't expect that. And then everywhere went after that. People were like, yo, man, I like the show, the bit about the kangaroos. It was always the bit about the kangaroos. I just kind of thought it was a bit funny. And so, I suppose, man, ambassadors to Australia would tell them to come over and shoot our national emblem.
That's what they remembered. Well,
yeah. It just
Aussie,
stuck in
kangaroo,
their head,
yeah.
It was all right.
And how long were you over there when you were doing that? How long?
We're only there for like 2 weeks. I actually bummed out. I wanted to get out early. Yeah. Honestly, seeing homeless, sleeping on street, waking up, not waking up.
Where did you?
We were in New York, Manhattan, yeah.
And you stayed in there for that whole 2 weeks? And
there
was stuff happening every night? Or
there was a couple gigs we went and saw, Digital Underground. I remember we went and saw them.
But you kind of have to get invited. Like, you can't just rock up and say, oh,
no, some of the gigs, and there was other gigs where we had this lanyard thing, so that was like your ticket into that gig anyway. So yeah, I went. We went to a couple. What do you call? They're like speech things with dudes, tutorial, whatever you want to call it. And they had all these people talking, and that was pretty interesting. And I remember, who was it? It was Lynch Mob or someone. They're talking about. One of my boys rang up and said, "This guy's selling your tapes out of the boot of his car." So what do you say? So we had to go down there and sort some things out. And just how he said it was just so funny. Everyone knows exactly what he's talking about.
While you were there?
Yeah. And that was the year that Lynch Mob and who was it? They had the big punch on in that hotel. And people almost got thrown off the edge and that. That was in one of the hotels where it was hosting the event.
What were you hoping to get out of that experience? Like when you travelled there, what were you hoping to get?
I mean, I suppose when it comes to hip-hop, everyone wants to go to the States. It's where it all started, So you want to go there and experience all that. And there's still people today going there for hip-hop to paint with other artists around the world and or to do tracks, So there's a lot of collabs in different aspects of hip-hop happening today still.
And that's for those relationships back then?
Oh, no, not so much then. It's more, I think, lately more social media open more doors and...
You can communicate with each other.
Become more accessible and that, Because when we went over then, there was no social media or nothing, man.
No, not.
So I honestly don't even know how Ransom and Funky Clone were in contact. I don't even know how that happened. I don't know.
And so did anything come of that adventure?
Oh, look, it was just a good experience. Like I said, there were labels that they were interested but didn't know how to market us. And so yeah, we just come back and kept doing shows and that. And I don't think none of us really expected that was going to blow us up. It was just to go there, you know. I had hardly any money for that thing, right? And this is, I remember, my mum at the time said, all right, you're going to start paying rent. I was really offended, yeah? What? Make me pay rent? But this is what happened. And I said, I want to go to America, right? My mum's basically giving me $1,500. I said, what was it? And she goes, that's the rent money that you've been giving me.
Good on Mum.
And I just made me feel like such an arsehole because I'd complained about it. It's like, wow. But then I didn't have much spending money. I remember when I was entering, they asked me how much spending, and I literally had about 200, 250 American for the 2 weeks. And they were like, what do you mean, you know?
Bare bones.
Oh, mate. But I kind of said, look, I'm staying with my friend there. Cool Hand Luke had just moved there in the reggae scene. And he was another sort of person from Australia that went there. And I think to this day, now he's the biggest unknown in hip-hop for what he's done. You know what I mean? Mate, he did tracks for everyone, all the big names. I remember one day I was hearing this, it was a Mad Lion track, and at the end, I can hear Luke's voice going, wicked, man, wicked. And I know that's Luke. And when I was in New York, I asked him, and I could see he was thinking about it. And he goes, oh, man, I don't know, I've done heaps of tracks. So, yeah, I reckon it was him.
And so you made some connections and friends in that time, or you're saying, like, say, a little bit hostile, like maybe...
Yeah,
they felt Australia's coming over, like we're America, we own this genre.
No, it wasn't sort of like that. No, we got a good response. I remember even a couple of days after the gig, I went back to this shop. I was trying to look for this Gunja University T-shirt I saw, and I'm going in there, and these lanyards, I didn't wear mine on the street, right? But the American guys, they had their lanyards on. And I was coming out of the store, and this guy's going, yo, PAC, hey. And I was saying, I was being friendly and everything. And then Ransom's like, man, do you know that's leaders of the new school? You know, Busta Rhymes, all those dudes. And I was, what? So I kind of know, if I had stayed longer, I would have got down with those dudes and started doing tracks with them, you know, because they were being friendly. And I don't think they would have come up and said hello if they thought I was whack or something, you know. Right.
So that's pretty unique. You were there as one of the first Aussies, you know, maybe opening a couple of doors for the next generation. Like, did you see it? Did you see people that you'd see younger guys coming through? Were you still part of it once you came back to Australia? Did you see more of that?
It was just weird back then. I mean, sometimes we talk about, you know, like, say when you're 18, you don't hang out with 15-year-olds. When you're 40, the difference now, he's 37. There's no difference.
Yeah.
But back then, there's a big difference, you know. You got your groups. So, I don't know, we were just sticking in our group. And, yeah, there was heaps of stuff happening. Rafi from Aswan, Raf, we took him under our wing and we got him up on a couple of our shows as well. So, yeah, we were trying to help some people to a certain degree, you know, but we were just busy trying to get our stuff done as well, you know.
And how did that go? Did you?
We did another 12. We signed Mama's Funk to the Straight Up record label. They put out a 12. I think they put out 2, actually. And then a few years later, look, we kind of disbanded, defunct, whatever you want to call it. And I started just doing my own stuff, either with Jimmy and Lamb. Maybe I did a track with Intense Quality. And then later on, I started doing tracks with Death Wish Cast. I kind of like to say I'm the silent member of Death Wish Cast as a joke because I've been on that many tracks and we just always talk. And I talk with Pabs Dicey pretty much every night. We talk on the phone.
And these are the boys that you've here catching up with
Now,
in
yeah.
Adelaide,
Yeah.
right? Your brothers,
Yeah.
yeah. And so, what is there? Talk collaborations. You're still keen. You still got that fire in your belly to keep making music.
For sure. Like, it was kind of funny. Like, you saw I do Lego on me, so it's mainly Lego predominant, right? And a while ago, some hip hop head sort of started following me, and he's messaging me going, "Hey man, that's so cool. Retired MC does Lego." I go, "Hey man, hold on, I'm not retired yet. I'll build a studio. We're doing tracks." "Oh, what?" That changes a lot, yeah. And it was pretty cool when it happened. I used to live next door to Housing Commission, right? There was always dramas, man, always. And I got sick of it, And then there was this factory around the corner. I was going there for car stickers, right? And then one day I saw moving out, and it's, "Mate, how much rent do you pay?" And it was $1,100 a month then. And I just saw this space, right? It's a hobby factory. It's pretty small. I think 220 square meters or something. There was a mezzanine already built in there. And I said to mate Raid, "Let's build a studio underneath that." Yeah? And it took us about 8-9 months. We're building about 3 days a week, say. Now, for two guys that weren't chippies, we did a pretty good job. And someone said, "Hey, they're throwing out this MDF." And we went round there. And MDF's not cheap, man, right? And, mate, we scored 200 sheets. And what it was kind of weird. They're long and thin, and they had Laminex both sides. And what they're doing, they're putting it on a machine, taking this Laminex, saving that. But I guess they didn't want to reset the machine. So the other piece, they were just piffing in these dumpies. So I went there, we grabbed 200 sheets, and we just started building the studio. And the theme was overkill right up to the end. Like I was saying before, 4 layers of MDF, 7 layers of carpet. There was a carpet joint down the road. We were raiding their bin. And it was all clean, ex-display home or something. 3 layers MDF arm. It never goes over 22 degrees in the lab. It's just nice and cool in there.
You've boxed yourself in a nice little room there and just created that space.
40 degrees out in the factory, 22 degrees in there. It's nice. And I remember Unknown came and he come and looked in there, and I've painted like this urban camo theme in there. And I had it in my car done with stickers, and I just did the shapes a lot bigger in the lab. Remember he came and he looks around and he goes, "Hey, it looks good in here, man. It's really nice environment." And this is a guy that's been into multiple studios, right? And he goes, "Man, I could stay in here all day. I don't feel claustrophobic or nothing." And he said, Wyclef from the Fugees. He goes, "Mate, that dude's just blacked out his studio. After half an hour, you start to feel claustrophobic and you got to get out of there." Where, and I can sit in my lap for hours. The only time that I know time is lapsing, right? The screen saver's changing every hour. "Oh, what? 2 a.m. Oh, yeah. Oh, 3 a.m. Oh." I'll go and rip one or something, come back. And then before I know it, it's dawn.
Yeah. I've just got black fabric wrapped around my shed here. I'm making the most of what I can, and in time, we'll get better.
But there's a couple lights and that, so you don't feel like it's just black. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's like a shadow in there, and just the screen.
I'd like to. Yeah, I've got some plans. And, I've got some stuff we're working on.
I like this bonsai. I like that when I first saw it.
Yes, it keeps growing. We'll see different people with leaves on it, flowers on it.
Oh, right.
So, go with the times. I might keep it in there each time.
It's so incredible. Waddy went to Japan and he showed me all these photos, and just, mate, what they put into, they sculpt full-size trees.
Oh, and they're grafting
like
them.
bonsais.
Oh, yeah.
Full-size tree, man. The dude will be...
I've been to bonsais for a little bit. I think they're pretty cool.
Incredible, man. Yeah. You took this one photo and it looks like Lord of the Rings. I keep asking him for it. It's this one tree and it hasn't been trimmed. The branches go off one side like a ladder. It's like, man, I want to blow that up just to put on the wall. Never seen a tree like that. Have you seen a Japanese squirrel?
I can't say I have.
It's Pikachu.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
It's
yeah,
Pikachu.
Right, yeah.
It jumped on the log next to him. It's not yellow. It's kind of this reddy colour. But the ears.
Yeah.
It's Pikachu.
Yeah.
And then it went on the thing. It looks so
And that's
cute.
where they've got it from.
Mate, I go, that's Pikachu. And he goes, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Put stuff together like that. So hobbies. You're talking about a bit of Lego stuff there. Like
I've always been doing
I've seen
Lego,
some
man.
of that. Yeah.
I've been doing Lego since I was like 8, 9 or something, you know?
But you're not Lego. We're not talking fucking Lego masters here. You build cars.
Most of it's cars.
Most of it's cars.
Most of it's all
And then
slammed.
now, or recently, you've been getting a bit creative with your photos. Like you're taking to the, you're getting a backdrop to the car.
Oh,
You've
no, I've been doing that
those.
for a while.
Yeah.
Most
It looks killer.
Most Lego guys.
Where do people find that? Yeah, quick. If people want to look and go, what's he talking
PAC
about?
D's 31 is my Insta account.
There. So if people want to check out,
It's pretty cool. I've got a worldwide Lego gang, and we called the Mock Around gang. Like, just playing words, muck around, mock around. We do a themed build every month. So there's about 40 in the crew, and we do themed builds. Like it might be camper van, 4-wide, whatever, hot rod, street rod, and everyone builds their version.
what's it like Monday to Friday? You got 1 week to build something, or how does it? Or
It's a weekend, so the window is Friday midnight to Sunday midnight.
you set the theme Friday night, and by Sunday, show us what you've done. Is that kinda how it works?
the calendar's already set out for next year, so
Yep.
dudes know what they're building.
Yeah, okay.
So the window's at 48 hours, so we all post. Whoever's hosting the event will do a recap of everyone's builds. But it's pretty cool because you see different styles, techniques, builds that you wouldn't have done. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, right, and just cool part usage. That's what I'm kind of into.
Forgive me my Lego ignorance. Like I love Lego. My kids used to have Lego. My kids are grown up now. I go to a mate's place and I play Lego with the boys. So what? You've just got pots of colours and Lego. Are you organised, or have you just got shit everywhere and you're looking for stuff?
Sort of, man. I've got it down to now a couple. I've got this mad trolley shelf that got given to me the other day, and I've got these big tubs with colour separations, and I've got a couple tackle boxes with, micro pieces.
Colours is the key.
Oh, you got to start with that, man, or else, mate. Like, I bought a few years ago. I just went berserk. I was buying bulk Lego off Gumtree. So I was spending $100, $200 to buy 4 times that in value. And I just ended up with these boxes, man. And I had so much that I was finding boxes that I forgot I bought. My pool table was about 3 inches deep in Lego. Stayed like that for a while. It got daunting. And then mate, you got to start separating this shit, And then I went on a couple of these. I train and hobby show once a year. I display Lego there as well. And it started off just filling in a table that wasn't going to be there. So I had my Lego. And during that first one, I thought, man, I'm going to use this time to sort what other Lego I
So you
need to
just bought
sort.
all of your shit, you put on the table, and while there you just go.
And I had
through it.
buckets, red, yellow, blue.
People will come up and talk to you and go, I'm just sorting stuff here. Is that
Yeah,
kind of
I was
how it
talking
works?
and... But that was good. I got a lot sorted then, and it's weird. Say I'm looking for something. In my head, I know I've got that piece. It might take half an hour to find, but I'll find it. But that's why I really need to separate them more into the components. Otherwise, mate, you're just looking at a box of blue pieces.
And so you've bought stuff off Gumtree. It's an old Star Wars piece, and it's a this, and then you've just thrown the box out, just throw the pieces on the ground, and then it's no longer a Star Wars piece. It's just all these pieces.
Yeah, I never
kinda how
really
it works?
try and make something like the...
You use their pieces within your conglomerate.
You're
not copying a pattern. You're not copying anyone's
Most
design.
of my stuff is just built from scratch. The times that it's not will be, say, Lego Speed Champions car and like that Dark Horse Mustang. How I built it was more hot rod style. I didn't have a bonnet on. I had a blower engine sticking out, whatever. But the rest of the car was like how it was, So I'll do stuff like that, but most of it's just from scratch. And I've had dudes go, where are the instructions for this? I go, man, there's no instructions. They're going, how are you building this? I said, 6 hours later, it looks like this. But you know, you said Lego Masters, that's pretty funny. I actually caught wind of that show months before they had the first one. And I was, oh, right, and I was interested enough to look into it. They wanted a big slab of your life to start with. There's 2 or 3 weeks you got to go camp out at this spot, and that's all you're doing. And I was trying to explain to people, look, man, I like to build what I want to build. Slammed hot rods and that. Mate, I don't want to build a working toilet out of Lego. And look at the shit they're building. I spend all night building that thing, and it's like fishing for me. It's very therapeutic. I'm sitting there ripping them. There's no timer going. I've got videos going. I'm not really watching this just for background sound, and I'm deconstructing because I want a bit more, one slither out or something. Deconstruct, rebuild it, and then, all right, it's there. On Lego Masters, they want to see that with the building and the city that goes with that in that time. It's like,
That's not fun. No.
That's where it's not fun. And I always say to dudes this as a joke, if I went on that show, you know, at the start of the show, they got, and there's all the, you know, and there's PAC. Everyone would be, oh, that dude was so cool, man. I'm so spewing. And he got kicked off, you know, because where was he? He's out in the car park doing some other shit, not, where is he gone? Oh, he's out in the car park.
He's looking for some certain coloured pieces.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh! And I got kicked off, you know. So.
No, it's not. And so what? That's the way you relax. You do that most
sure.
days, most evenings. You get home and you're fluffing around, or you got an idea in your head and you go, "Oh, I want to build this," and then you.
Sometimes it's like that, or I'll see something else that's inspired me. Yeah, different things happen different ways.
Yeah. Different things, different ways. Adversity. PAC. There you go. I'm going to throw that word out to you.
Oh yeah.
Is there a moment in your life where you go, fucking shit hit the fan, and people listening to this, they can have a little takeaway, go, fucking shit hit the fan for PAC and he got through it?
Oh.
Can you think of an experience where something just fucking really didn't go how you wanted it to, and how did you deal with it?
Okay, about 15 years ago, I was like manic, yeah, and I was causing a lot of havoc, man. And what started, I think there was a lot of things that triggered it. I think the first thing that triggered it was this body corporate thing. Now, I remember when I started this body corporate thing, now part of the agreement with them was to take all the lawn litter away, yeah? And it was Jim's mowing doing it, right? And I remember saying to this Jim's mowing guy, don't put nothing in my green bin. That's for branches and things that fall. That's not for you guys. Then I started noticing, mate, they were filling up this bin, not with from other, from lawns. So I was pretty annoyed. Rang the body corp and said, listen, I'm going to give you 24 hours to empty this grass out of my bin, or else I'm going to come down and empty it out in your office. And I mean what I say what I mean. So it wasn't an empty threat. I actually said, this is not a threat, this is a promise. I promise tomorrow I'm going to come down and empty this thing. You got to that. And it got emptied. Now I get a bill, miscellaneous. I knew what it was for. And then I've questioned it. And then they kind of were ducking and weaving. Okay, no. You sent me a miscellaneous bill, right? $400. You sent that to the other 2 units as well. So we're talking $1,200. What is this for? Now we've offended him, so he retired from being our body corporate. Gave himself a $1,000 exit fee, yeah? And because when I got another body corporate, he was supposed to electronic transfer all the funds, right? She goes, there's a lot of money missing. I go, what do you mean money? Okay, it's the first one. I've gone to is there a miscellaneous on there for $400? She goes, yeah, how do you know? I go, what else is it? She goes, he's giving himself a $1,000 exit fee. Mate, my blood boiled. I went down to see him, and I don't know, I think he's just rubbed people the wrong way. This guy already had a black eye. So while I was talking to him, I was just focused looking at this black eye, and it made him really uncomfortable. And I can't remember what I said for the first time. I think I was questioning that thing, and he didn't answer. Then when that found out, I went back there, and I was ropeable. And I remember I went in there, and I had an extortion thing hanging over my head, which is a 2-year jail sentence, man. And I was sweating on that, right? And
There's a story.
mate, and I was pretty like aggressive shit. And what did I say to him? I said, mate, I don't give a rat's ass. You go to petty cash, go to the bank, withdraw that money, or else fucking whatever.
Give me it back.
right?
It's mine.
And this is what happened. I remember saying to my dad, like, I'm a pretty peaceful dude, man. I don't go out to start shit, whatever, you know. If shit comes my way, I'll deal with it, but I don't really instigate, right? People know me like that. And I said to my dad, you know, some people, if you could do it again, what wouldn't you do, blah, 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 right? And when it comes, I even said to my dad, honestly, I got no regrets doing what I did to that body corporate. To me, I felt I was instant karma for him. Because this is what pissed me off. I go, well, mate, what do you want to do? He sat there, crossed his arms, he goes, I'm doing nothing. And just sat there like he was untouchable. So I've grabbed this chair and just gone, whoosh, ran around and just started pounding him, right? I was going, psh, psh, and I was getting like 2 things in every second. And then this massive, what was he? This Italian dude. He was huge. He's come in. And would you agree big dudes look bigger when they've got suits on? Yeah,
Yeah, potentially, yes.
yeah, they just look bigger.
Yeah.
And mate, he was
More
massive, right?
intimidating, more, yeah.
Yeah, and he actually had a chair, and he was going to throw this chair at me. And I've gone, mate, I'll wrap that chair around your neck. And he's put the chair down. And then what happened? When I was beating this guy, this woman's gone, it was like a movie, she's gone, I wanted to give him one last kick in his head, right? And I'm going it's going like that. This woman starts diving, no, yeah, and I'm like, no. And I'm watching it, it's all slow-mo, and I've lifted my foot, and I think I've just tipped her thumb, and it's gone, poof. And then I went out to my car, and she's come out to look at the rego, and I just set it out to her, ST4RG8. And then I went to Clayton Station and turned myself in to the cops, right? And this was funny. I rocked up there, and this huge Islander dude's come out, and he goes, hey, I know you. And I thought, this could be good or bad. And I go, he goes, well, what can I help you for today? It was real nice, this dude. Everyone calls him Uncle. He's famous for diffusing volatile situations, man, where it looks like there's going to be mass punch-ons. He'll come there and diffuse it. And everyone respects him because he's an Islander and they're all Islanders, you know? And he goes, well, can I help you? And I go, oh, man, I've just bashed this body corporate. He goes, what did you do that for? He's just stole money off me and shit, bro. But they've called the cops, so I'm here now, you know? He goes, where did this happen? It was like in Moorabbin, so they're probably called Moorabbin cops. So they've rang Moorabbin cops saying he's here now, he's waiting, you know? And when that guy goes, I remember, and I go, where from? And this is funny. Remember when I had my knee reco, right? I was shopping at Bilo then. It was 24 hours. So I was going there at 3, 4 in the morning when no one was there. And I had the whole Bilo to myself, and I felt like a king walking around. He was a security guard out the front. So I remember it was one time I took my groceries home, came back
you from there.
and talked to him for another hour.
Yeah.
We were just talking all the time. That was him. He goes, don't you remember me? I was a security guard when you broke your leg,
Pay
right?
it forward, hey?
I went, yeah, you look good in the uniform. And it was cool, you know, and it was just funny. And then those other 2 cops came, and I've got a couple DVDs. When you get arrested, you get a DVD.
Not like a computer disc. We're not talking DVD that you
Yeah.
can put into, okay.
DVD.
You got a movie file.
Yeah, because
okay.
I've got this camera going, and I think it does 3 DVDs at once.
Okay.
Burns it. So
Yeah.
they keep one, the victim gets one, and I get one. And so I got this thing. And it's pretty funny. I remember I said to the cop, hey, can I use this? And he said, that's your DVD now. And so before the questions, and I'd been arrested before that, and I was watching this other video, right? And I kind of learnt all that, if you cannot provide, blah, blah, blah. And so in that interview, I'm miming what this guy's saying. And mate, it's spot on what I'm miming. And he's doing all this thing. And he goes, and usually, like I've had another bike interview. I had another interview with it. This bike got given away, right? And it was just a crap bike, a fucking Giant or something. Giant, that's the new joke, man.
Yeah,
my mate worked at a bike shop and a yuppie walked
French.
in and asked for Giant. Do you sell Giants?
Oh, yes.
He's gone, nah, but we've got Giants. The guys looked at it, you know, so it just stuck.
Doesn't sound as good.
It doesn't. And then, but it was a shit bike we bought to pilfer for parts. And I remember when I walked in, and they knew I was all the bomb and that. And they were making fun of me, like, and I go, don't look at me. And it was a chick's bike as well, right, this frame. And one of my mates, he had a falling out with them. He was basically running the store and they weren't paying him properly in that. So he goes, nah, fuck this, I'm out of here, right? And he told me it doesn't work there. And I was like, all right, I've got to go pick up this frame now. For some reason, I just knew that, actually, I might not get into too much details. It was not actually a statute of limitations on this shit.
Yes, okay. Yeah, I know.
I went sort of prepared that something was going to happen, and the kid's gone into this back room, and which is half the size of I've been in that back room, right? And how they do the bikes, they put a little tag on the frame with your name and number on it. He comes out after 5 minutes, like you need 5 minutes to look in this thing, right? He goes, oh, it's not here. We gave it away to charity.
Yeah, nice call.
Okay, mate, who gave you permission to do that? Right? And then he's going, oh. And then,
Oh, shit.
yeah. And then this other stuff went down in there. And then I said to him, mate, fucking, tell him if he wants, to his boss, tell him if he wants to follow me, I'll be at the downhill, right? And then nothing come out of it. And then it was a few months later, I was going to see Esky to get some ink done. And I don't know, I think we did that one that day, right? And then they saw my bike outside because I was near the cash converter was near there. And they've run out and they've taken, they're looking. So I'm just yelling the reg to them. Next day I get a call from this copper. It's about an incident that took place November. I said, what month are we in now? May. And this is November, right? Shows you the importance of this thing, right? He goes, I said, listen, man, I'm in Clayton. Just come to Clayton. We'll do the interview there. And they came. And I said, hey, listen, man, I'm not trying to be a smartass. I've spoken to my solicitor and he said, no comment interview. Right? And someone else said to me, if they've got video footage of you, they have to show you now. Right? But after it kind of went down, my mate rang me and he goes, man, they just rang me to get your phone number. And I've told him to piss off, you know? And he goes, man, I didn't think you were serious. I go, hey, man, I asked you. Because I did ask him and he said, go for it kind of thing. I'm not trying to handball the thing onto him, but it was more, I respected him enough that if he had said, nah, I don't do nothing, I wouldn't have done nothing, man. But because he said, nah, fuck him, man, if they've given away your shit. So I did what I did. And then it was just funny they were trying to contact through him. He just thought it was funny. He's going, man, you're fucking so funny. I didn't take you serious. I go, what do you mean? I asked you permission, you know? He goes, I thought you were joking. I go, but you're cool, yeah? He goes, yeah, man. That's fucking I haven't stopped laughing since they've rang. It's like, okay. And then, so I get the interview and I say to the cop, it's going to be no comment. And they didn't get far into it, 3 or 4 questions, and then he's gone, is there going to be no comment? And I go, yeah, that's pretty much. He goes, oh, I'm happy to wrap it up here then. And that was it, we wrapped it up. Now, I thought I wanted to come at him even more then. So I went and seen legal aid, said, you owe me a frame with the back running gear or equivalent price, you owe that to me. Now they've come back saying that I took all this extra shit that I didn't take, but it worked out the same price. You know? So
Just the way they're just fluffing
they
it
zeroed
around.
it out.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I could have said...
An admission of, kind of an admission. Oh,
Now, I could have gone further and said, that's bullshit. Check look at their itinerary and what the stock's not there for me to take, man.
Yeah, don't call me a thief. Yeah.
But I thought, nah, I just want to move on after that. I felt I'd done my bit. I actually made a Bike Stupid Store t-shirt and I wore it into their shop, right? I was standing there. It was exactly like the thing. They've changed the logo now, right? It said Bike Stupid Store on the back. I had FM, the hash is the U, right? Yeah. And it was funny. I wore it to the downhill and my mate's gone, fuck, I saw you wearing the Bike Superstore t-shirt. Why is Pac wearing that? And then it was, I thought...
Changed a couple of letters in there.
But I thought everyone was going to come up to me, riders, asking. Bro, everyone just stayed away from me. Like, oh, fuck, Pac's not happy. No. Just no one approached me. Phil goes, oh, bro, come here. You got to show this dude. The guy that started Bike Superstore. He sold it, right? But he goes, Pac, turn around, show me a t-shirt. And he just had this funny grin on his face. Didn't want to know about what...
The reasons why.
Yeah. And then I found out it was a separate franchise, man. And then it kind of turned into 99 bucks as well. So I felt bad, right? And I'm going, oh, fuck. And I've rang up. I've looked at all the Bike Stupid Store things, right? And I've gone to Geelong. And I rang the Geelong store. This dude's answered. And I go, hey, man, I've made this Bike Stupid Store t-shirt. Pac! Yeah? He goes, man, I've got no beef with you, right? I go, bro, I got no beef with you, man. And I go, hey, listen, one of my mates explained to me that it's not a...
it's not a diss on everyone.
He explained to me it's not a massive company anymore like it started. It's separate franchises now. And I went, bro, I'm really sorry. I just found out this, man. I'm not going to ever wear that T-shirt again. I wasn't trying to come. I'm really sorry, man. I hope it hasn't had a bad effect. But he was really cool about it. He's going, thanks, Pac. I really appreciate that, you know. And
you stick with your moral. You've gone to the effort to make it. They've done the wrong thing by you, and you've gone, I'm going to fucking
but
give
it was
back.
that one shop.
Yeah.
So I probably should have had the name of that shop
that
under
suburb. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But not that would have changed much.
Stupid store Marlboro.
Oh, no.
Like that.
Yeah, so, you got to just watch what you say and do sometimes, man.
Sometimes that hothead, that works. Sometimes it doesn't. Hey.
Yeah.
I need a wee break.
Oh, yeah.
We might do
I could probably go on as well.
Do a quick little wee break. And we can think of everything. We are back. We're nearly out of batteries and cameras and everything. And I said to Pac, while we're out there, what else should we talk about? And he said Yowies or the ghosts at the Austral. What should we go with?
We'll start with the ghosts. Because before, went and kicked it, saw Delta and that, and he was already talking as well about that. And there's been a few artists that have gone there and had experiences. And
we're talking about the Austral Hotel in Adelaide, in the city, Rundle Street.
Yeah. So when we first come here, that was 93, right, for the Voices of the Underground gig. So we didn't know any history about this hotel. So we got the key, room 14, go up these stairs, unlocked the door, and then the handle's gone this way. When you, as a kid, you've had those battles on the other side of the door, but it was equal strength. I was going, and now this guy, Izzy, he was downstairs with us at the bar, and we somehow thought he's climbed in the window and he was in the room, right? And in it goes, Izzy, stop looking around, open the door. And as soon as he said that, let go, and I pushed the door open, the room's empty. And I said, mate, you saw, I was just fighting with someone, you saw that, right? And then, so these things start to happen, and sort of, I've come back to Adelaide to do a skunk run, and that was when all the skunks started happening, right?
Good old days.
Oh, mate, the baby shit skunk, we called it. And then, so I was coming back for that, and I was telling these dudes, mate, all this weird stuff happened in Austral. And then he told me, mate, it's two ghosts there, an old lady and a young girl. When he said that, just, this like shiver went over me, and I went, man, she cleaned the room while we were in it. And he goes, what? And this is, I'll get to that, but just, okay, the first night, there was this half basin on the wall, and I put my runners over there because they were kind of stanky. I just want them over there, right? When I opened my eyes in the morning, I happened to be looking that way. There was no, the shoes weren't there. And I'm thinking, mate, I'm sure I put them there. And then Ina says, Packy, my runners have moved. Now they're under my bed. I look under my bed, there's my runners. And she's a maid from 200 years ago. That's old school, runners under the bed. That's old school, man. It made sense. She was very observant. We made this a bong. There was 2 coat hangers. I straightened one as a stoking stick last night. What happened was, it was early in the morning. It was actually 3 a.m., which is witching hour, right? And I've gone, and went to put this bong in the cupboard. And every night I was putting the bong with the stoking stick in the cupboard. And I put the bong, and I'm going to turn off the light. I laid on my back, and what? I was laying on the mix bar, the scissors, and the stoking stick, right? I remember going, oh, jeez, because I had this mad Jag jacket on that Izzy gave me, and I thought it's put all this resin on. And I threw it under the bed. Next morning, I've gone to the cupboard. There's the pipe, and there's the coat hanger. And I look up. There's the other coat hanger. I look under the bed. There's the scissors and mix bowl. So, mate, that thing has gone. She soon needs to be in the cupboard. That's what I mean. She's very observant.
Put it away.
She's put it away.
Well, people are also going to say, once you've smoked the bong, you maybe, maybe things go a little bit haywire.
All right. But I felt I saw the young girl as well. That was when one night we actually were gigging down the bottom in the beer garden. We were just going up and down. And I saw her. She does not look like a ghost. She's not transparent, you know what I mean? It's a full figure. Baby blue and white dress. It looked brand new. Elizabethan style. You're talking corset, hoops. Mate, who wears that now? Even, I don't think you'll find that at the fancy dress yards, man. Yeah. Mate, that's from an era long gone.
Yeah.
And I remember looking at her thinking, man, gee, you look out of place. And she looked like about 13, 14, and I've heard that was her age. You know? Now, this is where the old lady cleaned our room in the middle of the day. This thing doesn't have to wait to witching hour. She's active. It's about 9:30 in the morning. We hear this like it's 5:00 knocking on. There was heaps of dudes in there, man. Some hilltop hood dudes and other guys. There was intense quality. There's probably 15 people in this little room, right? They had, I think, 3 beds in there. And I just quick thinking, I've ripped off my shirt, pretended I was naked, right? And I've opened the door, and I'm looking at this maid. And the more I think about it, even her attire was from a period long gone, man. You know, the old maid.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at her, and I said, she goes to me, I want to clean the room. And I go, hey, listen, we're getting dressed. Come back in 5 minutes and we'll be gone. That's pretty reasonable, yeah? She goes, no, I want to go home. I felt like a force pushed me back against the entrance. Like, I didn't feel hands, just like that. And she's gone past me. She's gone to this bed and started making it. And then she's made the other bed. I think Jimmy's gone, how rude. And she said again, I want to go home. I'm pretty sure she even took out a bag of rubbish, right? I was the first to say it. I said, man, did anyone see her legs move when she went to that bed? And then Mika goes, it was like she was on a skateboard. I go, you saw that? I was just happy someone else saw it. I think PJ seen it as well, and he's like, it's like she just floated to the bed. I go, you saw that, right? She fucking drifted to the bed. She did. She just and started making it. And then when I've come back and the dude's gone to me, an old lady, the maid, and
the story.
Just, mate, she cleaned the room while we're in it. Oh. And just other small things started to happen. And then push forward 10 years, we'll come to Adelaide to do another gig. And I said to H, oh, let's stay at the Austral, it's haunted, yeah? And his mate Mimi was there, and I seen him go snickering. I said, oh, a non-believer. Mimi, don't spin out if anything happens to you, yeah? He said, and he thought it was funny. So we were staying there, and it was summer, 7 a.m, it's like 27 degrees, bright as. Age comes in my room. They had their room. He goes, quick, Mimi's out in the street. He's freaking out. Quick. I go, what? He's freaking out. 7 o'clock in the morning, right? This is what I'm saying. This ghost doesn't wait till midnight, 3 a.m. Mate, it's active. I go out in the street. There's Mimi looking like he'd seen a ghost. He was pale, sweating, saying sorry. He could not stop saying sorry to me. And I said, Mimi, you don't have to say sorry. What happened, right? And this is what happens. So Age, he's got a bad back and he sleeps on a futon, has for years. He can't, the mattresses, the springs were like that. So he's pulled the mattress onto the ground, onto the floor. Mimi thought that was a good idea. He's done the same. The mates come into that. There were no futons 200 years ago, you know what I'm saying? So she saw that. So she was pissed off, man. So he felt that on his side. She physically touched him to get up, right? He thought it was Age waking him up. He's looked over there. Age was over that side of the room snoring. So he's just bolted out the street, and that's where he was. And I felt sorry for him. It was a rude awakening, like, fuck, man. I remember saying, like I said to him, don't spin it out if anything happens to you, right? So I should have been, look what happened to you. But I wasn't, man.
Because if it's for real, yeah.
I thought, I don't know if I'd be that comfortable with her touching me either, man. I don't think I would have freaked out as much, but I don't think it would have been that cool either. But going from a non-believer to instantly, mate, that's a reality check.
I have not heard of that story or the story of the Austral, so I've not heard of that.
Yeah, man. Next time you see Delta, ask him, man. And
I'm a bit of a believer.
He's got other stories about what happened with dudes there and that.
Yeah. Visitors.
It's just weird. And I remember telling someone in Melbourne, and they started Googling. And I said, you're not going to find nothing. I've already looked. They found something. I've tried to find this photo again. It's hard to find. So it's from the outside. I go, what is that? It's not a bush. It's on the balcony. I'm calling it ectoplasm. Ectoplasm. It's this bubbly cloud thing. And you can see that it looks like a ghost of a guy standing there. What are those braces things called?
Yeah, the old school.
Yeah.
Bib and braces.
With like a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And he's on the balcony as well. Look at, there's the woman's face. Oh, man. I recognise it straight away. She's in the photo.
Man, that's
that gave me creeps. Yeah. I said, what? Yeah. So I'm keen to stay there again.
Yeah.
Man, I actually want to. There's this
understand
other guy,
a little more, maybe.
There's this other guy, and he had a lot of equipment. She puts out a grid in the room. If anything passes through, it will show you the shape. Yeah. We had that going. The other thing I said, but all we have to do is put runners over there. They're going to end up under your bed because she's old school. That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, man. And I said, mate, she's active, man. It's not just midnight. It's during the day.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty mad.
It is, yeah.
Pretty mad. Yeah, okay.
So I've had a lot of ghost experiences, man.
Yeah. We lived in our last part, our grandparents. Look, if I don't think I've seen a ghost or anything like that, but I've seen things, a few things like the one of those wind chimes that hang over your kids' beds.
Right.
And I've seen it just spin one direction and then stop and spin in opposite direction. I've seen a couple of those things back in the day. And we used to live at our sister-in-law's place. They thought that was haunted. You'd see the TV in the middle of the night, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, look, it's good to think there's something out there,
The one time I did get pretty scared, Peanut, he's moved up to Kyogle now near Queensland border. He used to live out at Malden, Mount Tarrangower, and that was our stomping ground and all that. He had this spirit there. It was really active, and it just seemed to hone in on me, hassle me. And I remember, and this is like, it was a really cliche. It's like the movies, that it goes cold.
Yeah.
We know he's there. And Nutty had this pig dog collar, you know. That will start vibrating. And once it vibrated so hard, it popped off the wall. It's like he's letting us know he's there. But it was more that temperature drop. I've never experienced that anywhere else but there.
But maybe you're a bit observant. Like, say you got a thing with the animals. Maybe there's maybe just a little bit more in tune.
All three of us were experiencing it like Waddy.
Yeah.
We all saw it. We all heard it.
Yeah.
But the one night that really, this is where I was kind of scared. I think more with these supernatural things, I have more of a fascination than a fear. Yeah, so I'm fascinated, man. But this night, I got to admit, I was scared. So I'm sitting there, and I was drawing these skulls. I remember, right? And I'm sitting there, and I don't know if that's what started it. I think that was just coincidence. You can tell where sound's coming from, right? Mate, this thing, and I felt this presence there on the left. And now I spoke to someone about this that does cleansing and paranormal investigation. Now, he said to me, look, man, sometimes when spirits try and communicate, it can come out muffled. I said, mate, this was not muffled. I call this hell speak. Sound like that in my left ear. And when I heard that, man, I shit myself.
Fair enough.
And I've gone, what? I'm thinking, fucking please don't say it again. It said it again. Couldn't make it out. It's just that. Oh, fuck. And then I've gone, huh? And then say it again. I needed to have a piece, right? So I've gone through this kitchen. He had 4 pots on the side. They were just flat out vibrating. Like flat out vibrating. And I'm looking at that. And we built this extension room that day and the toilet's there. So I had to go through there. Again, you can hear where sound's coming from. Now he's stomping around in a circle. He's got boots on. Stomping around in a circle in front of me. That's what I could hear. And I had to go that way. And I'm thinking, as much as scared as I was, I'm thinking, mate, you got to show this thing you're not scared, right? So I stepped into that space where it was stomping and it stopped. It's sorted. Right? I thought it was sorted. It so wasn't sorted. After that piece went, I'm thinking, man, I'm going to crash out now. And I was by myself in this lounge room. Waddy was in the spare room. Now, I know the sound. I know what noise it was. I felt the wind. He's grabbed 2 pots off the stove and smashed them together right next to my head. I felt the wind, dong, the noise of 2 pots. Very distinguishing sound, right? Nothing. And the ring, it was so close to my ear. And, mate, I was really shitting myself then thinking, if he can do that, he can do it with my head between the pots. Yeah? I think he's just showing me, don't mess with me, mate. And so I just kind of backed off, you know. And the next morning, I went outside and I could hear his. And Nutty had a horse, right? I'm looking for his horse. But the sound where it's come from, there's nothing there under this tree. And I'm looking. Now I can see the horse, Stampy. He's on a full gallop towards us, which is not the sound of. Now I can hear, he's coming. I believe the horse saw it. It reared up to that open space under the tree. It did that full front leg slide.
Yeah.
I'd never seen the horse do that before. Stopped. And then looking. Nutty did all this research, and back in the days, you can look it up in the history books, when there was the gold rush times, police left and went to the goldfields. It's in the history books, man. There were no cops. There was so much gold in 1 week they were finding that was the year's wage for a police officer. So, man, there's no cops. They went to the goldfields, literally. And so gun become law, right? People got held up for their gold, shot, you know? So Nutty said his property where it was, they had to cross Muckleford Creek, his property to get to Muckleford Creek to wash the gold. Yeah? So we reckon, mate, he got ambushed on Nutty's property, him and the horse. And
that's their ghosts.
That's the ghost. There's this building on that property that we called Haunted House. I went there once. I never wanted to go there again. It was a 200-year-old stable, about the size of, like a carport sort of a size. 80% of it was the horse stable. There was a room at the back and a bench that's the bed, I'm guessing. I went in that spot in the afternoon and it just felt really bad there, just bad vibes. I didn't want to stay there. Something was wrong. Nutty said he walked his dog through there once and near dusk and something started breathing on the back of his neck. All his hair stood up. His dog turned around and bolted. A bull mastiff ridgeback bolted and left him, and he just started running after the dog to get out there as well. But, mate, that dog wasn't scared of nothing. It was his hunting dog. It will attack razorbacks twice its size, you know.
I can sense it.
Mate, there was this one skull I always used to look at, and that dog did it. Nutty he was a nutty. He asked me all the time to go for him, and I think he had bloodlust back then. A dog and a knife. Nutty, there's no way you're getting me out in the bush with some wild pig trying to kill me, mate. Even if you give me guns and bazookas, there's no way I'm going out there. And this dog, he said it was in the thicket or something, and he chucked the dog in there, and then he got in there and he was just stabbing with this 6-inch blade. Stabbed it into his leg all the way. Didn't know. Got home, his missus gone, ah! Like, oh, man, all that
That's not good.
pig, oh, that's not good. Yeah, so he cleaned all that up. But this skull he kept, and I always used to look at it, and the first time I saw it, I'd go, what, is that a bullet hole? It's perfect. He goes, nah, man, that's where the dog bit it. And, mate, the thick's
gone in there.
It was a really clean hole with a couple cracks. It looked like a bullet hole. But no, that's where the dog, and he was
So
holding.
that dog's not scared of nothing.
No, and it bolted when it,
No.
I reckon it saw what was behind
Yeah,
Nutty.
saw or sensed. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
man.
it. Yeah.
Because animals, man, they got that.
They do. 100%.
Yeah, they
you
do.
know.
They
You see them
sense.
moving when the rain comes, the ants get busy and all that sort of stuff. you
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
They've seen things. The most incredible experience that ever happened to me, I reckon, I was at this townhouse and there was a ghost in there. I remember I've come in one day and I went to this Jag sale with my girlfriend at the time and I bought this pair of, they're like brown tracksuit pants. I kind of didn't really want to buy them, but I went all the way to this sale and I felt obligated to buy something.
Yeah.
Like, I got to buy something. They're only $10 and I thought, all right, I'll buy them. They can be my home tracky ducks. So my girlfriend was wearing them and I come in the lounge room. Before I come in the lounge room, I had these like 2 wooden rail things going upstairs and I saw the brown tracksuit pants going up. I was looking at them. She was laying on the couch. She goes, what did you just see? And I said, I just thought I saw you going up the stairs. So I grabbed my cat, ran up there, and I was looking. We didn't see nothing. And then time passed. It was probably a year after that. I was seeing Lena from Sydney. She come down to visit me. I was upstairs having a nap, and she's come up, and she walked in. She got this shock, right? I go, what did you just see? And she goes, there was a boy laying next to you wearing brown corduroys. Brown corduroy. That's what I thought was the brown tracky ducks. Wasn't. Brown corduroy. What? A kid laying next to me wearing brown corduroys. Right. And then there was one night I was sitting there and I had this glass coffee table and I used to collect all these 118 model cars and it was a military Humvee. It's the heaviest model, right? It was big. I had Star Wars figures in there. Boba Fett was driving it. They're all in there. Sitting there and this thing starts rolling. On this glass coffee table and it's rolling. And half my brain's going, wow, a ghost is rolling the car, right? And I was fascinated. I was looking at it. And I was saying, you better grab it before it rolls off the table. It's going to smash. I don't know why I didn't grab it. I was just fixated looking at it. It's rolled off and it snapped the hatch the dude pops out of, right? And then that happened. Then one night I'm sitting in there, and this was a few months later, and this is where I feel cats can see these things, right? I can feel someone looking at, you know when you feel someone looking at you, you turn around, and yeah, someone's looking at you, right? I could feel that. Then I looked at my cat, and his head, it was tracking something going up the stairs. And I go, hey, where do you think you're going? And the cat's head stopped. And I thought, wow, it thinks I can see it. And I jumped up, and I remember smashing this wood, going, get out of here, I'm going to smoke you, I'm going to smoke you. And the cat, he's ran up to like chase this thing. And I bolted up after the cat. He's turned left, it split, and there was 2 rooms in the bathroom. He's gone left, and I've ran in. At the same time I got there, I was a bit after him. I felt this breeze next to me. He's run down the stairs now. He's chasing this thing. So I've run down the back, lounge room, kitchen, laundry. There's my cat, Fuddy, this feral I got from Chep. He's standing there. He's all proud at the back door, just standing there like that, like a bulldog sort of.
Scared him out.
And I'm looking at him, and then I was sitting there ripping things, chilling, and then that happened, right? So it's pretty frantic. And then I'm sitting, I go, did what I think just happened? Like, did I just chase the ghost out? But then this thing happened, and for years it was just doing my head in. The next day, there was a couple priests at work, pastors, and I told the pastor what happened. And he said to me, that was God coming back into your house, making your a house a home again. And this is what happened, right? I've gone in, and after I was looking at, and then I saw this thing, and it looks like special effects. A line across the roof, down to the floor, across the floor. Now this line's coming through the house about walking pace. This is how I describe it. Black and white on this side, colour on that side, old, new, dirty, shining. It's the only way I can describe it, even though it's not. But you can physically see this thing coming through. Now I'm just standing there, what is going on? Like, I'm looking at, I was standing in the arch going into the kitchen when it hit me. A scent of roses, but not. It just felt nice and warm. I looked around, and it finished off the kitchen. I was standing there just looking around, and everything's sparkling and shit. Man, I was telling that story for years, man, the looks I was getting. One day I was at Anarchy Downhill, and I'm telling someone, right, it just come up in conversation, goes something. My mate Steve-O, who ended up doing some tracks with, and they put some thrash guitar over some of the tracks. He goes, and I don't know why we hadn't spoken about it. Well, mates refused. He goes, yeah, I've seen that.
Like a wall.
That thing. I go, you saw
displaced,
that?
Yeah.
He goes, yeah. He goes, I was listening to how you were talking. That's exactly how I describe it. I go, mate, where did you see it? He goes, it was his brother's house, his sister and brother-in-law, North Dandenong. So the house was haunted. There was a few bowls sliding around on benches and that. So they got this, they got a New Zealand background, right? White New Zealand background. They got New Zealand priest to come there, and he started talking, and apparently all his hair stood up. He turned red, this guy. He's talking to a boy or something. Took him outside and showed him the way, the light, and he went. And when they went in the house, the 4 of them, or 3 of them saw that. Or no, he was there as well. So 4 of them, him, sister and brother-in-law, and the priest. So the line, exactly what you said, started coming through the house. And his sister panicked. She goes, oh, my God, what's happening, right? The priest said, no, this is good. This is cleansing. This is good. And it went through the house, and exactly the same thing happened.
You see it happen.
And I remember saying to him, bro, I can't tell you how relieved I am that someone else has actually seen it, man. Do you know how many people I've told that story to, and the looks I get? Like, fuck, Packy's tripping, you know? But now, mate, now I'm going to say...
Yeah, I'm not going fucking mad.
Mate, Steve-O's seen it too, man.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, damn.
A little bit of intuition, like a little bit in tuned. Maybe too many people are too busy with fucking the reality of life to be open to other options, you know?
Well, the other thing that is Yowies, right? And it was something like I always had a fascination as well with the whole Bigfoot thing, and that famous footage that everyone knows about where it's on the other side, right? And it's actually a female one, right? It's got mammary glands, right? Raiders named it Sasquatch. I think that's the funniest name. And
hey, you're talking about Yowie, like Australian.
Australia's the Yowie, the big in America, Bigfoot. Got a few names from Skunk Ape. And it was
Yeti, Bigfoot,
Sasquatch,
yeah.
you know. And
This is the Australian version.
yeah, is the Yowie. And our hotspot is Gympie in Queensland. Mate, over 1,000 sightings. And when you go on these sites and listen, there's all video, interviews with people. And you listen, and it's all walks of life. And these people got nothing to gain by telling their story except ridicule, really. But you listen to the stories, and there's the similarities in the stories. And most people, the thing is, when they first see this thing, their brain is trying to fill in the gaps and what am I looking at? That's the whole thing. Everyone says it's the same
That's
thing.
got to be harder in 2024 to think that something survived in the wild somewhere. Is there a cave somewhere out
this
there?
is the thing, man. But people don't realise, as big as Australia is, mate, 80% has not been explored.
I think Tassie, there's probably a lot of spots. I mean, I'm not
Tassie
that
would
familiar,
be the
but
same.
Tassie, there's probably a lot of remote places
Mate,
you can't get to. And
The Thylacine,
jungles,
right?
yeah.
The Tassie tiger. Nathan Rennie's seen
Yes,
one, man.
Rennie, yes,
Mate, I
Rennie's
watched that
the
interview,
best,
mate.
yeah.
He's got no reason to make that shit up.
No, 100%.
And other people always said, yeah, we've seen him as well. But in that video, he goes, look, I didn't want to go back because they're nomadic. They don't have a house. They just roam, those things. So I've always thought, yeah, well, just because... And this is the thing. When that last one in captivity, like that guy had in Tassie, you know what was the draw card? Last one in existence. That was his draw card for you to come look at it. He had to keep it up. So when it died, that's it. They're extinct now.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to find another one. Yeah.
That was his thing. So he had to maintain that bullshit. So, mate.
Look, there's plenty of the depths of
Plenty
the
there,
oceans.
mate.
There's plenty of jungles in the world where who knows what still exists.
And last time I was up there was, and this is Kyogle. It's near the Queensland border. And the road near Nutties is actually called Yowie Road. Why? And we went and dropped these marbles, and that next time I go back, I want to see if they've been replaced with rocks, because that's what they kind of do. You leave.
Yeah.
And the other thing I heard Raid was telling me was, he saw this one dude was leaving peanut butter jars, right? And he hangs them on a bit of rope, so about 3 or 4 foot off the ground. Now, you go into Kyler Safeway, go to the peanut butter section, there's no smell, yeah? When you grab a jar of peanut butter, there's no smell. You can't smell that. It's all sealed, right? It's factory fresh. It's in there. So no animal's smelling that and wants to, This is how they find the jar. It's clean and spotless and upside down on the ground. Spotless, like it's been washed. So I'm thinking, what are they doing? Scraping it out with a stick, put it on a leaf or something, then literally go to a creek or something and
Wash it and rinse it. Yeah.
There's not one skerrick of peanut butter, not one smudge. There's the jar.
So they can lick it clean.
Maybe. And last time I was there, and I've watched a lot of these videos where people, when they hear the thing roar, they all pretty much say the same thing, like the intensity of the sound, what a beast, and they're all saying the same thing. Now, it was about 8 o'clock at night, and I did take a dictaphone up there to try and record anything, right? And I've heard this thing, it was 5 roars, right? So, roar! And his neighbour's property is about 1K away. I can hear his dogs. I can hear what they sound like. This thing you could hear was, mate, it was way further than this guy's property, but as loud as the dogs. Yeah, the same.
That's a big
volume. Volume, right? And the first time it was like, rah! And I was thinking, what the hell is that? Even though I'm already leaning that way, I was still thinking, what the... Second one's the same. Third, I'm thinking, mate, that's definitely not his dogs. The 5th one had a note off the end. A note off. I've run inside, grabbed the dictaphone, come out. I reckon 2 minutes later, I've heard another one even further away. But the dictaphone, it didn't pick it up. It was just too far away. I had 2 immediate sounds, frogs, toads and shit going off. So, and... On these other videos, I've heard dudes, they go, whoa, whoa, and they do the whoops and that to try and attract. So, mate, that happened at 8 o'clock at night. I made another mix. I sat up till 3 or 4 in the morning with my ears peeled, wanting to hear it again. Didn't hear it again. Probably 2 times during that time, I've gone to the edge of his driveway thinking I was going to, whoa, whoa, something, right? I couldn't bring myself to do it.
You didn't want to call it.
I did not want to call it. I'm thinking, mate, are you going to call something you really don't want to see up close? Are you doing a mating call?
Next minute.
Next minute, yeah, man. Even, I don't know, like Nutty's set up this new room and he put me in this new guest room and there was no curtain or nothing. I go, Nutty, can you just hang a sheet or something? I don't want to wake up and a baby owie's like looking at me or something.
That's it, yeah.
So much animals. He's got bandicoots on the lawn. And they're cute, man. They just sit there and you put the torch on them and after a couple says, what? And they'll hop away.
Yeah.
But they're like looking like, what? But but we've been whacking toads up there, the cane toads. Mate, they've made it as far down as where are they now?
They're saying that's a big problem. They keep coming.
Port Macquarie, they've made it down. So
10, 20 years they've been talking about that as an issue.
Mate, they're getting born into this climate now, so they're climatized, they're adapting. Nutty said he's been there for 2 winters now. The first winter didn't see not one. Second winter, there's the occasional one on the road. He'll line up. And mate, he goes to me. We started.
There's no natural predator for them.
There's nothing. Apparently, the bin chickens learn how to eat it now.
Yeah, right.
So it whacks it, and it's releasing all the pus and that. It releases, it's spent, then it washes it and eats it. And Nutty was saying some lizards apparently worked out to eat it now without eating that gland, so it can eat it. So nature's finding a way, but I don't think it can recover. Mate, they don't know how many there is. There's cajillions of them. There really is.
Yeah.
And, we just whack them with a hockey stick and bury them so no other animals,
Probably going to eat them.
Yeah. And, we figured out a way, line them up, headshots, like a golf ping. It's pretty humane. They're crack dead. But I just see it as protecting our Australian
It's an invasive species. They're not part of our
biggest ecological disaster in the world, man. They were bought for the cane beetles. The beetles are on the top of the cane. They couldn't even get to them.
Yeah.
So, mate, that wasn't really fought through that well.
It's not going well.
Wasn't. And then the next thing after that was rabbits. Someone bought over 14 for hunting. Yeah.
Till the Khaleesi got in and sorted them out.
Mate, they ran off.
I remember as a
shoot
youngster,
them.
we'd go camping and go rabbiting. It was, we'd kill and eat the animal, and then you had the one that had mixie, and you go, no, you're not eating that one. That one's no good.
Yeah, a lot of them end up like that, eh?
Well, my friend, this has been so much fun. Like we've been a couple of hours in here, and look, I wish all my stuff would last a lot longer, and I would like these to be longer. We're coming close to wrapping this up, but just some words of, inspiration, advice. Like before we finish this, someone's not having the best of days. Like how do you?
Look, man, I remember years ago, one of my friend's brothers broke up with his missus and he was bumming out and shit, right? And I had that video, The Harder They Come, right? Jimmy Cliff. Now, I showed him this bit on this video. I go, watch this guy. He's not an actor. They show this guy on a rubbish dump. He's definitely not an actor, right? They filmed this guy on the rubbish dump. He's got a pair of pants. There's a big rip in the pants. You see his nutsack swinging around. That's all he owns. Now, he's searching for food. I said, have a good look at him, man. You've got a roof. You've got food. You've got water. Look at him, mate. That's all he owns, I reckon, that pair of pants. And now you're whinging it because you broke up with your girlfriend? Mate, to me, that's a serious reality check. So every time I was thinking, I'm bumming out and shit, man, I'll think about that guy, like. And suddenly your world doesn't look so bad, does it?
Be grateful for what you've got, hey?
For real. But I also think, too, choice of words comes into play. I got a cafe at the front and sometimes I was aggro and telling dudes, mate, don't park there, move your shit, I'll chain you, I'll put a tie lock. I was coming at him, yeah? And wasn't getting a good response because it's just, people, bump heads, whatever. But then I learned to say, hey, excuse me, brother, can you not park there, please? You're just making it real hard for us to get in and out. It's a real prick of a driveway because it is. You go, you got a real angle, use the whole thing. So if you come at them like that, they're like, oh, sorry, brother, then have a good day. And then, it's good vibes, not trying to just rip into someone. So I kind of reckon, like, yeah, choice of words is always important, man. You don't realise people can get triggered, man, when you don't actually mean it. You know what I mean?
Is there a spot where you've been on the receiving end of that?
Yeah, maybe.
And you realise,
yeah, I reckon that has happened. Like someone's gone, mate, settle down. Like, come on, mate, you know, take it easy. Like one thing that I've got zero tolerance for is sense of entitlement. I've got zero tolerance for that shit, man. One time, a car was parked across our driveway, and it's a cafe. Mate, this driveway services 8 factories. So I went in there, excuse me, who's driving the Silver Magna? And there's this big guy sitting in the front, and he's on the I am. I said, mate, can you please move your car? We need to get out of here. I'm eating. Which translates to fuck you, I'm eating. Yeah? So I've gone, oh, Mr. Sense of Entitlement, huh? Okay, this is what's going to happen now. I'm going to put a big F-off sticker on your windshield. It's going to take me 30 seconds to put it on. It's going to take you about half an hour to get it off. Now he wants to move his car, right? Now you want to move. But the thing is, because I've come into all these cafe latte office people sitting there, I'm the bad man. You see what I'm saying? I'm the bad man.
Well, you got dreadlocks as well.
Well, not him, because he's blocked our driveway and I'm eating. I'm going to say, so what? Because you're eating, the rest of us now have to be inconvenienced and just we're blocked in it because you're eating. Mate, that's not good enough. I don't get that mentality. I don't, man.
Nah, people pushing in traffic. Like, just get in line, wait your turn, you know, be polite.
Especially when it's zippering, you know, traffic zippering like that. And you always get that one person that just...
It's more important.
Yeah.
Need more of a rush than you.
Or they're trying to merge and they're actually behind you. It's like the other day I pulled into this cake shop, Marciano's Cakes, and before I sort of indicate or slow down, I have a quick mirror check to see who's behind me, right? And I could see in the other lane this big 4-drive Audi thing. He was like going real fast, stuck and weaving. And he's dived into my lane as I'm turning to go into this spot. Now, I'm slowing down to go into this spot, to park. He's singing, bah! He toots me. I was just happy that he didn't dive out 20 metres up because he would have gone straight into my ass. He wouldn't have seen me. He just would have dived out and I would have been there. And then I would have been on an assault charge, I reckon, because, yeah.
You don't want that. No assault charges.
Yeah, I
Mr.
know.
PAC, we need you.
I know.
We need you to make some more music. We need your art.
I'm a good
We need
boy
your
now.
inspiration. We need all of that. As we're finishing off, is there a few shout-outs? Is there... you've met a lot of good people, a lot of good friends along the way. It's hard when you say names because you leave some out. But is there a few that you'd like to mention?
Well, you know, pretty much the reason why I'm here now is the 31-year anniversary that Pabs and I met at Voices of the Underground in 93. And, yeah, we just wanted to come back as a 31 sort of anniversary thing. But it's just good, you know, hanging out with Delta today, you know, and I remember him saying to me, man, you know, I remember when you first came, we were talking, you were cool, man. Reason everyone was like, the ego has landed. And I didn't even know none of that, right? And it's cool when dudes, you know, it comes back to you like that, you know, like, oh, I met you in Sydney, man, you know, 2000, you probably won't remember. You were cool as it was before you. And, man, I got time for anyone that wants to talk or something and say hello, you know, and I'm cool like that. I don't really try and snob people off, man. Where other people do, so, you know what I mean? Like, it's not my steez. Can't relate to it, man. I'm pretty friendly, approachable, I feel, you know.
You got the time. You take the time.
Yeah.
No, brilliant.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
But yeah, give thanks, Zolly, for having me on here, man. I'm stoked to be here, bro. We got a lot of history as well, man.
Yes, you're a great person. You're an inspiration to many, PAC. Whether you see it or not, there are plenty of people that look to people like you. You know, I'm not
man,
in that
one
league,
thing that really humbled me was at the downhill. I was doing it hard, man, on the hardtail, yeah? And when one day my back was just wrecked, I had all these x-rays and I thought, man, I can't do this anymore, these big drops and compression on the spine and all that. And it was an intense tracer, 6-inch travel, which was our downhill travel back in 2000, right?
Yeah.
So I put box, sweet, hardtail to 6 inches, man, that's butter, right? And that 4-bar linkage actually works really well. It doesn't really bottom out, it just gets stiff near the end, where other ones clunk, clunk, you know? And I remember I've rocked up to Barjag with that. And riders that I'd never spoken to before, you know, younger cats coming, oh, bro, where's your hardtail? Oh, I'm back. And it was funny, like, just the respect I got, man, was incredible, just riding hardtail.
And you're in your 50s. You've been doing this for more than 3 decades. Music, art, riding.
Yeah.
Full respect. So pleased to have been able to have the chance to have this conversation with you. PAC Diesel,
Oh, word.
thank you very much.
Word up, Zolly. Give
I'm
thanks,
going
man.
to play the little end out music here. I think it comes there.
Oh, man.
This has been a heap of fun.
Yeah, for real.
Thank you, PAC.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is fucking cool. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Word up, Zolly. Volatile Visions, PAC D into house.
You. Thanks, boss. Thank you, sir.
Thank
you
you,
so
sir.
much. There we go.
Oh.
We did it.
Did it.
Oh, that's good fun, man.
Press stop.